I wanted to ask you now, because this is the hot topic, especially in the Muslim community, about your conversion.
Yeah.
So tell us the story, like what happened exactly.
Well, I think a lot of people who've been following me for a while understand that I've been very respectful of Islam for a long time.
Yeah, sure.
I was born in a Christian country. I was raised as a Christian. And I've always been very respectful of Islam. And it's become more and more obvious to me and more pertinent that Islam is the last religion on the planet. When I talk about Islam, because I'm new to it,
Yeah.
I'm a little bit careful, right? Because I'm new to it. I'm certainly not a scholar. There's so much I need to learn. I know I'm on a learning journey. I'm not here to sit here and talk scripture. I don't know those things yet. I'm here to learn.
Yeah.
But
And we're here at your assistance.
thank you, bro. Thank you.
Honestly.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But it's just, for me, it feels like the last religion on earth. I feel like there's no other religion. People say to me, why did you convert? And I said, I don't really feel it as a conversion. It's almost like I knew God was real and now I've become religious. And they say, well, you were religious before. I was like, religious before how? Christian? What does Christian mean? Like, who's not a Christian? You go to Christian nations and everyone says they're a Christian. Look how they live their lives. Go into the average church. Is anyone actually fearful of God? Anybody? No. The girls are out on Saturday night drinking and then they turn up to church because their parents made them. Like, there's no substance to the religion. And also, Islam very closely reflects my personal beliefs. Through my personal life, I've learned that if you don't have standards and you're not a strong person who's prepared to defend his ideas, you will be crushed.
Yes.
And we look at most religions in the world today which are not prepared to defend their ideas. What's happened to them? They're just getting crushed. And now we have Christianity as an idea which has basically said, well, we can't set any firm rules because everyone will just quit. So instead, let's make it so easy to be a Christian that nobody has to put any effort in.
Yeah.
And then accept everybody no matter what. And hopefully we can keep the church doors open. That's not God to me, you know?
Yeah.
God to me is strong. God to me is something to be feared.
Yeah.
God to me is someone that people are afraid to mock.
Yeah.
God to me is someone that you have to go out of your way to prove something to. God to me has red lines.
Yeah.
Like, God to me represents the Islamic faith. The Christian God to me, I don't see God. I can't explain. I don't see anything there. So to me, it was the only logical choice in the end.
It's very interesting hearing someone explain, a non-Muslim who has just embraced the religion and has now become Muslim. It's very interesting. Try to hear them describe why they came to the religion. And I say that because the truth of the matter is, إِنَّ اللَّهَ يَهْدِي مَن يَشَاءُ. Verily Allah guides whomsoever He wills. وَإِنَّكَ لَا تَهْدِي مَنْ أَحْبَبْتَ وَلَكِنَّ اللَّهَ يَهْدِي مَن يَشَاءُ. And you do not guide whom you love, O Muhammad. This is an ayah in the Quran, sallallahu alayhi wasallam. But Allah guides whomsoever He wills. And when Andrew was asked, Brother Andrew, I should say, when Brother Andrew was asked, what was it about the religion that caused you to convert or caused you to see that Islam is the truth? His response is interesting because you can see him think, what's the reason? And he presents a number of very logical reasons. It's a religion that stands up for what it believes in. Excuse me. It's a religion that has red lines. It's a religion whereby the people of the religion will not tolerate its rules and regulations being violated. But the truth of the matter is that Inna Allah yahdi man yasha, that Allah guides whomsoever He wills. Because just a couple of podcasts back that Brother Muhammad Hijab had with Dr. Jordan Peterson, it was fascinating to listen to how Dr. Jordan Peterson answered one of Muhammad's very poignant questions, which was, Muhammad said something to the effect of, if I bring you unequivocal evidence that Islam is the truth. I'm paraphrasing now. These were not his words, but it was to that effect. If I bring you irrefutable, unequivocal evidence that Islam is the truth, will you convert? And after beating around the bush, Dr. Jordan Peterson said, no, I won't. And I found that to be astounding, subhanallah, and a true testament to the fact that no matter how much evidence you bring someone, if they don't want to be guided, they will not be guided. Equally, you can bring another man, another non-Muslim, no evidence whatsoever, and just simply say to him, believe in Allah and His Messenger, with no evidence, and he will embrace the religion. So I found that a fascinating exchange to see Andrew try to clutch on and hold on to something and say it's because of this. And I believe he believes what he's saying. I really do. But the truth is, you can give a man a lot more evidence than that. You can give a man a lot more proof than that. And there will be plenty of educated, intelligent men who would still not embrace the religion, who would still not become Muslim. Because in Allah yahdi man yasha. Verily Allah guides whomsoever he wills. Now, from a macro perspective, I think the podcast was really good, touching on the macro issues. I'd love to have a conversation with Andrew going into more of the micro issues, especially that we're both raised in Luton.
So you are looking for no string nikah, are you? Well, if you are looking for no string nikah, I suggest you download on App Store and Google Play, and maybe you find some halal. On a serious note though, if I put 100 bints in front of most of you men, you would not convert a single one of them because your game is so bad. The way you communicate with women online is so cringe. I am disgusted and horrified with how you communicate with these bints. And that is why No Strings Nikah app is not just a networking place for you to meet sisters who are looking for an arrangement that is not a conventional marriage. It's more of an arrangement that suits her unique situation. She's been married a couple of times. She's got kids. They're her main priority. On and on and on. If you've heard me speak about it before, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And for you brothers with dead game, there are 2 groups on there to help you improve this. The NSN Brothers group and the Muslim Man group ran by Nabil, which has some absolute gems. Gems. Even the cat's looking at me like, Bev, for real. So download No Strings Nikah on Google, on the Google Play Store or Apple App Store now.
So we can go a little bit more into the detail. But I respect the fact that at this moment in time, him doing a podcast with me is just not ROI positive. There's something you guys need to understand, by the way, because I often get requests to do podcasts as well with guys who either haven't yet even started a YouTube channel and want to use me, and I use that word carefully, want to use me as leverage to give their channel a kickstart, or a channel that has like 20 subscribers, 50 subscribers, a couple of videos up, and then they want me to devote an hour or 2 of my time to their channel to do a podcast. And I'll be perfectly honest with you. For the vast majority of instances where I see that, or where someone offers me that, I just turn them down flat. Because I can't see the work. I can't see the work. And I sense and feel that you're trying to use me, despite how small my channel is in relative terms, but compared to yours, it's big. I've got nearly 10k subs. You've got 50 subscribers, just 50. It's a difference. And you can sense that this person just wants to bring you on to accelerate the growth of their channel. The same is true for me, for someone like Tate. And even less than that for that matter. As men, we understand there's a hierarchy. There is a hierarchy, okay? And you have to do the work and get to a particular level before you can be accepted into the fold of the next level. You've got to do the work. You've got to show your work. And you have to have results to back up your work. So as much as I'd love to do a podcast with Tate right now, and I absolutely would do that, I feel shy to ask him. We've had this conversation before in the past, but at this point I feel shy to ask him because I know that it's not ROI positive for him in any perspective. He would be bringing far more value to me than I would to him. Do you see? And you must bear this in mind. And I share this with you because a lot of you are looking to find ways to benefit yourself in many different aspects without thinking, how can I benefit that individual as equally as I would like to be benefited myself? If you can't come up with a significant enough answer, with a substantial enough answer, then you should probably have a little bit of humility and refrain from making that request, because the value that individual is bringing you far exceeds the value you are bringing them. And frankly speaking, do you want to feel like a charity case? Do you want to feel like charity? No, you want someone to devote their time to you because they see value in devoting that time to you. An equal exchange of value. And even if it's not equal, at least there is enough value that you have to offer them for that other party to deem it to be significant. And I know I've extended this point quite a bit now, but I really want you to bear this in mind, because even despite the tiny, small channel that I have right now, not even 10k subs yet, I get it. I understand it. There's a hierarchy, gentlemen. You need to understand and respect that hierarchy. As for our brother Andrew, wallahi, I'm so happy. I can't tell you how happy I am that brother Andrew Tate has accepted the religion of Islam as the truth, has become a Muslim, because I have no doubt that he will be a great boon for the religion and a medium whereby a lot of non-Muslims will also convert to the religion off the back of his conversion, just by virtue of the relationship they have with him and he has with them. As Muhammad said in his podcast, he has loyalists. They are loyalists. His fans are loyalists. Huge boon to the religion, massive influence, obviously very capable individual, and now he has the religion as well to really like fine-tune him. If you thought Andrew was already a beast, you've seen nothing. The best is yet to come.